So Scottie Scheffler is the best golfer in the world. He may not be Tiger Woods dominant. He just won the Masters. He's great. He's your number one asset. He's going to make people tens and hundreds of millions of dollars on the tour. So this morning in Louisville, Kentucky, and everybody's picking on Louisville, but it's a major, right? The PGA Championship. A man, entering the golf course is struck, a spectator, by a shuttle bus. Just a tragedy. But it's 5 a.m. It's dark out. Nobody can see. So so what happens is, before this golf tournament, right, is that as the golfers are coming in, there's a long delay. And it's very hard to get an exception to move a tee time. This is a major. Remember, golfers, this is not a league, right? Like, golfers have to make their own way. They pay for their travel. They pay for everything. So tee time, what's happening? Well, it's 5:30 in the morning. There's flashing lights. There's cops. There's security. Scottie Scheffler drives up, early tee time, and he doesn't know the difference between cops and security. He's just trying to get around the accident and get into the tournament. So he drives up on the median for about 10 yards, and some local, I guess, cop, not a security guard, races over, attaches himself to the car, makes it a wildly serious incident for driving over a median, handcuffs him. He gets stuck in the back of a police car, and you're sitting there thinking, this is how we know it's a tragedy. By the way, Scottie Scheffler said this morning, he goes, there was chaos. We're all confused. He goes, I feel terrible for the family. It's an absolute tragedy. So Scottie Scheffler wasn't disregarding anything. There was just massive confusion. But this is what I've said about golf. So the PGA Championship, this tournament, is run by the PGA of America. The last major, the Masters, is run by Augusta National. The U.S. Open is run by the USGA, and the British Open, called the Open, is run by the Royal Ancient Golf Club of St. Andrews. I wonder why there's a little chaos at the PGA Championship. Do you realize that Aaron Andrews, Tom Rinaldi, Kevin Burkhardt, and Tom Brady will have better security getting in and out of football games than the number one golfer in the world has getting into a major? They'll have security from the airport. They'll have somebody pick them up at Fox that takes them to the hotel, then hotel to the stadium, then stadium to the airport, back home. Security. The NFL security and Fox security protecting our broadcast teams, not even in playoff games, preseason games, regular season games. Carolina could be playing Tampa. The security's better protecting the announcers than golf does. Here's the number one golfer in the world driving his rental car by himself, no idea, pitch black, 5:30 in the morning, cop, security, he can't tell. Yes, it's a tragedy. Maybe he should have been patient. But this is why I supported golfers when they bailed on the PGA and went to the LIV Tour. Golf has always been every man for itself. Even the PGA was a sanctioned charity, so they were taking care of themselves. Kind of an interesting charity, right? So when everybody was outraged by it, I'm like, this is a sport that wouldn't give their golfers who were stars, like international stars, they couldn't own their own YouTube page. They couldn't monetize their social media. They don't have like escorts to majors. And yes, it's a tragedy. And yes, there was chaos and confusion. And that is obviously very important. But other golfers were a mile and a half away in the pitch black, were getting out of their cars, walking to the golf course. Again, these are the most important people in this entire sport. Can you imagine Patrick Mahomes being cuffed and arrested? Traffic, that's a picture of him on our TV screen. Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson being cuffed and arrested in traffic getting to the AFC Championship. Come on, man. Take care of your prized assets here. Rental cars, figuring out 5 in the morning, pitch black, lights. They don't know what happened. They don't know of the tragedy. And, of course, the tragedy is number one. We're acknowledging that. But it just sometimes golf feels like a circus, and it's why I always defend the golfers over the event. It's every man for himself. They're all independent contractors. It's also why you'll find broadcast employees and NFL employees often very loyal to the NFL or a Fox or a CBS or an ABC because they're treated well. They're protected. They're promoted. They're marketed. They can own their own YouTube page. Just a thought. Caitlin Clark, 28th year of the WNBA. They have never had a player either good enough or interesting enough to drive marketing, revenue, and TV ratings so that the entire league can fly private. They fly commercial like the rest of us. That doesn't mean there haven't been good players, very good players. But Caitlin Clark, who's never played until a week ago in a WNBA game, is the first player that appears, they're banking on her. And I say banking literally. They're literally going now to private flights for 2 years. The money they're going to spend on that's more than the WNBA payroll. So they finally have this moment. Don't put Caitlin Clark up in the first 4 games against New York twice and Connecticut twice, the best defensive teams. The NFL gets Jim Harbaugh in the league. What does the NFL do? They give the Chargers the 2 potentially easiest games on their schedule. Caleb Williams to Chicago. So whereas the NFL has the Chargers facing the Raiders at home, the NFL with Caleb Williams in Chicago won't have them playing the very good Packers until week 11. Why? They want Caleb Williams to get his sea legs, open up with Tennessee, give him a fighting chance, not a lot of TV exposure until weeks 15, 17. They figured it out. Connecticut, the New York Liberty twice, Connecticut twice. Caitlin Clark struggling. She struggled last night. You've got to take advantage of these opportunities. You know, a great example, the MLS, and it's closer to the WNBA than it is the NFL. They made sure Beckham got to Los Angeles. They weren't going to put him middle of the country. They made sure he got to Los Angeles. Have you noticed with Messi? The MLS has a salary cap. I was told this morning, Messi makes more than all but 4 teams. What about the salary cap? Whatever. Sometimes you got to make stuff work. David Beckham got to L.A. Messi got to Miami. I'm not sure if it was the Illuminati, secret handshakes, smoke-filled rooms. Make it work. Caitlin Clark, this may be, when Tiger Woods came onto the tour, it was the tour. But Jack Nicklaus getting older, they needed a driving star. They just made stuff work for Tiger. Well, I should say this. The networks did. The NFL. Remember that year when Goodell was having to defend the catch rule in the NFL? It got real murky for 2 or 3 years. And then in the Super Bowl, Philadelphia, New England, huge numbers, great game. They changed the catch rule in the Super Bowl. Sometimes with Super Bowl halftime shows, you lip sync. Make it work. Just figure it out and make it work. Caitlin Clark's opening with the Liberty twice, the Connecticut Sun. I don't know what they have to do. I don't know if they have to change the trade rules, if they have to get her better players, lighten up the schedule. But this is the 28th year. This is the first player that is driving revenue and interest so that the draft for the WNBA tripled the WNBA finals. Tripled it. That's insane. I watched it. I can barely tolerate the NBA. I don't even know if I'll watch it this year. I don't even know who the players are. Sometimes you just have to get stuff done. You just have to figure it out. Get Messi paid. Get Beckham to L.A. Get Caitlin Clark an easy schedule. The NFL acknowledges. Chicago, New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers. We don't know what the Jets are going to do by week 12, but we're going to get them on TV as much as we can early. The NFL is totally authentic about that. They were quoted yesterday. A guy in the NFL is like, well, the Jets owe us one. So we're going to squeeze every bit of juice out of the orange we can with Aaron Rodgers and get him on TV a bunch early. Light, easy schedule early, but television early to let Aaron shine. WNBA, you got to do better. You got to help Caitlin Clark. Because for the record, when Tiger came to the tour, everybody won. The tournaments won. The other players won. The purses went up. The networks made it work. Networks were changing programming. Whatever you got to do, change the programming. Got to do a better job of that.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.